Yeah, what's up, everybody? Good morning. All right. Good morning. Good morning. To out the door, we have QQQ belong up. Let me open up my resilience is here. So resilience still positive. Take a look at this. So this is an opportunity on S&P, at least a half gap. QQQ go to half gap as well. There's likely to be hedge pressure resistance on the bear short up. Going here today. Oops. All right, let's keep close. Okay. So here. So it looks like a little bit of tiny resistance. We had a little bit of downside last night, but hedge pressure support. So you have two different conflicting things. Very bullish, actually bullish on both of them. But this is a hedge pressure in the way. So NASDAQ could hit snag resistance right there. Keep an eye on resilience. So my bet, resilience can predict hedge pressure break as it outranks this. Open in bear zone, close bear zone, stay over here. As long as things stay rational, can likely do that today. Possible. End up right there. This guy would likely, by default, end up somewhere in there. Come on, everybody. This has nothing in the way on the downside, so looking pretty solid there. At oops. Tomorrow is a big day. The CPI day. We'll be hosting a Twitter space tonight to go over kind of pre-prep for the CPI. So you are all welcome to join that and come take a look. So out the door, a little hedge pressure support on NASDAQ is looking pretty solid there. Don't see that we have any irrational signals just yet, so nice and clean. I think the market's going to be pretty stable today. Its resilience is telling us that story. Russell's looking solid as well. Just keep an eye out on both of the resiliences today. So it's a pretty decent setup. All right, let's take a look at some stocks. Pull my sectors real quick. See how the sectors are doing. So CPI tomorrow, obviously gonna be a big mover. That could be what kicks the market out. The way monthly maps are still looking slightly bullish, I think that the response will be bullish, like regardless of what comes out. And the CPI, as we go to the year-over-year read, we're still in the mid to high threes, but it's still coming down. You know, obviously CPI inflation expectation hopefully could come in. They've been coming in under par, like the forecast, which is good. So obviously, let's hope it comes in. It's expecting to go up. You see how the expectation is starting to curve up a little bit. So the last tick was a tick up, so they're expecting to tick up again. So hopefully, it could still come in under expectation and not come in over 3.6 and cause a panic. Oh, let's see what sectors were. Okay, so this is See what's going on there with Tesla. Let's go ahead and let me run this for hedge pressure break to the upside, illiquidity pocket. Let's see if we have anything good for breaks. No, nothing there. What about regular hedge break? 2 things there. Monthly hedge break, shouldn't be many of those. Disney. Okay, hold on. I'm gonna take a look at Disney real quick. Good morning, team. No way. Okay. Disney's getting its spot in the sun today. Monthly hedge break. It's not the most uncommon. It's not the most common thing to see in the monthly side. That's great for Disney. Maybe Disney's temporary bottoming out. Apple today. Take a look at it. Ooh, Disney. I do like that. All right, y'all. There be some tickers. We'll take a look at them real quick. Yeah, so like as Leah said, it's the same. I agree 100%. It's like quick in and out. It's not a short setup day. Things are pretty decent. And SPY's already getting its hedge break to the upside, as we always talk about resilience. Can predict hedge pressure breaks. We have 2 videos, I think, show that. So you have DD outranks, res outranks, liquidity map. Right? So when you look at the 3 in your decision-making process, this is one of those clear cases where res can predict hedge pressure breaks. So from a bear short up to a bear long up, as we showed earlier, your positive resilience, the desire to fill the gap, outweighs those hedging boundaries and that resistances you see there. Usually most of the time we would use resilience to break its high. So while the original, as I was saying, is to resist off of liquidity map, resilience is going to push this to the middle. And if it hovers at the middle, it's going to try to fill the gap. Now, as you guys know, the DD ratio being bullish, pull bar, it's kind of revisiting this on the cheat sheet. If you open in a bear zone, your bullish ratio taps the bull zone at the highest and typically retreats and returns to the bull zone. So this is the high of the day today, 449, that I would bet on if I were betting on this one. All right. As a final extend. But obviously probabilities are higher that it does this. But with the hedge break in the way, we don't make those probabilities. So we don't bet on that one usually in our training. So when you're irrational, you don't rationalize that 3.4% chance that we always say there's a highest probability that it stays in the zone it opened in when it closes. That's only when rational. When you're irrational, like a hedge break is in the way, we don't have those probabilities. We still say that this is higher probability than that one, but I don't bet. What I normally do is as soon as I get there, I close out. So that's why I delete this leg of that. So that's the highest, but most likely it's to end up inside of there. Opening below hedge pressure, again, without other irrational signals, which there aren't any there, it's more likely to close below hedge pressure rather than open. But still, I'd still bet on what my what my bias states and what my fundamental state. And when you break hedge pressure and you get an irrational signal, then you can't really make those rationalizations as easily. So again, so as the folks here are saying, I take what I can get and I would get out. I'd bet from here all the way through here, and knowing that this could possibly be a resistance, I would trade at the here, call it a day in general. Yep. So yeah, resilience, the desire to go from the, let me show you what you understand this concept, right? Resilience forecasting hedge pressure break. If you're at the bottom side of the box and resilience is positive, I still need to remake this with a period right there. It wants to push to the top side of the box. This is what resilience is telling me. See how it's trying to push to the top side of the box, which breaks hedge pressure in the way, which creates additional upside move. So the desire for this to reject hedge pressure is going to get overwhelmed by the desire to fill the gap. More often than not. You see how it's trying to push through? So if I were trading, I would trim here, and I would certainly probably take profit there. I wouldn't bet that we go here and beyond. Okay, let's get Apple. A non-actionable BLU on Apple. Clearly, anytime you are trading outside the box, I always use these as pivots. The monthly hedge pressure break has produced a couple more signals here. Okay, take a look. I'm getting a lot. Look at this. Even a lot more coming through. GM. Oh, wow. GM on the breakout plays too. Steady. DD very unwavering. Still looking really solid. 90s still. Yeah, if you go through and rewatch the videos, new things will stick. There's a lot of information there that probably, you know, it's more like tying everything together. If you're watching them the first time, it's like you're learning something about the concept. But if you watch them a second or third time, you go through it, the way that everything blends together is like the harmonious overview of how it looks when you put it all together. You start catching, it's like watching a movie that you love, or watching like the show Lost. Like every time I watch that series and rewatch it, I learn something new because of what I already know, and how it all blends together, and like the new ways to like see the subtleties of how they hinted at stuff. This is something that's complex, like trading. You watch them again, you're going to learn a whole lot more the second and third time because things will blend together more. Maybe something you didn't catch the first time because you didn't fully understand the second concept. The videos talk about how they work together, you'll certainly pick it up the third time. Like rewatching Inception, exactly like rewatching any Christopher Nolan movie. However, no matter how many times you watch the movie Tenet, you'll still never get it, and that shit doesn't make any sense. How people walk backwards, I don't know. Rewinding time, going forward and back at the same time. I don't know. The scientists in me they can never figure out what the hell is going on in that movie. GM is a breakout play today. Likey. Gonna BLD pushing. This is the one thing about the new layout. Things are lovely and beautiful, but scroll down to see this fully. Okay. So support it, monthly hedge. If you support it open, trades the resistance. Sure, out the door, AMD is, if you're on this side of open, trades to resistance, which there is none up here. You have to look for some gap fills, maybe. Something in the way. Technical resistances you can find outside of Rocket Tutor. AMD's just been this consolidating pattern since June. It's crazy how AMD's not getting the same, well, AMD and Intel, like how they're not getting the same love as Nvidia is getting, like also being chip companies. And Nvidia is getting as hyped as that it's getting and breaking all-time highs. Curious to me why Wall Street perceives, and people were starting to call shenanigans on Nvidia's presentations and what the company execs were doing to boost the stock price and what BlackRock was doing. But however, like, you know, proof is like, why are not all the chip stocks looking the same? Like, why is AMD not screaming to hundreds? You know, it's getting its, you know, in the competitive scene, you know, AMD kind of took a back seat to Intel for over a decade. As far as like enthusiast builds and community, now it's back. Like, people love AMDs in the last 5 years. A lot more. It's starting to become like the preferred high-end choice for PC builders. Like, they're starting to give Intel a huge run for their money now. Either way, anyways, you know, upside targets in here, you're limited in a range, so there's not really big breakout highs today, but still bullish. Yeah, I agree. Like, AMD should have its Nvidia type moment soon. Now, I know I'm probably one of the few enthusiasts left who's still primarily this everything Intel. Like, it's funny because I used to like AMD when people didn't like AMD. Like, early 2000s, my first computer builds, like in college, high school, college, were all AMDs. Athlon, I remember the chip name. So like, I used to be an AMD fanboy before it was cool. I'm so hipster about that. And then like mid to late college, I think the last AMD build I had, and then I started doing Intels. When I got my first job, I probably build a computer every year, like a brand new one. Usually did like state of the art. I always buy the newest things that came out. And I probably built PC every year or two. It was all Intel. And that's because at the time I was into overclocking, and Intel boards had a lot of other features you can overclock better than AMDs. That was back in the day when you would like get a #1 pencil and shade your resistors and leave deposits on them so that you can change like the V droop on the Intel board to say voltage drop in low power situations. You can run full blast for overclocking like you used to do. They actually like modify the chips on the board back in the day. Overclocking, it's all software based now, like anyone can do it. Okay, Intel's looking solid. I do love it. Intel Gotti. Oh yeah. MS DOS, Prince of Persia. Hey, those are the good old days. I miss those good old days. Put your disk in the floppy drive. Load up the Oregon Trail. Load up. You know, where in the world's Carmen San Diego? Resilience starting to pull back now. So we're losing resilience in the S&P and we're losing resilience in NASDAQ. So it's likely this is building a retreat scenario. The market's likely going to try to fight this off and pull back now. Likely not to sell off unless we break hedge pressure on NASDAQ. So keep an eyeball on SPY today. All right, let's look at monthly maps now. Let's start with the tech since we're talking about tech today. Ooh, nice. Okay. Bull side, bear side, both sloping down, as you know. Pull up my cheat sheets from the reference guide. The overview feature, platform overview. Sorry. Take a look at what this guy means, right? Bottom of bull zones are sloping down. Bulls are longing more. Check. Bulls are becoming more bullish. If the bottom of the bear zone sloping down, shorts are also squeezing. So this is hinting at a double strong move to the upside still. As you've been seeing on NASDAQ, the way the monthly map is displaying is that NASDAQ is still slating to accelerate higher. Monthly maps do not lie. I love monthly maps. To today's map for Q. Volatility. Oh, and here's a cool trick. Here's a cool note on this. Don't ever ignore this left side on the like right here. Don't ever ignore the volatility side. Very telltale sign. This is actually how cool monthly maps are. All the little hidden details they give you. Both zones are pinching together. The market's becoming more liquid. If both zones are pulling apart, it's becoming volatile. Look at this tiny little zone right here. And look at this big old zone right there. And look how it's getting smaller and smaller and smaller. You see this? What is the reasoning for a volatility spike for tomorrow? What's causing that? This is trivia night. Volatility. How much you pay attention to what's going around you. I think that's how you spell it. Tomorrow CPI day. Nailed it. So even monthly map does not sleep on what's going on. Why are we having a volatile data? Oh, CPI. So CPI is going to be volatile tomorrow. Tomorrow is going to be a big mover according to the way people are positioned. Isn't that cool? All right. Okay, be right back. Grab me something to eat. To keep liquidity map from being loaded by default, just remove it and then save your chart layout without it. So anything you don't want to load by default related to your charts, your indicators, change your default there. Nice, easy, clean day. Now resilience, we're losing that. So just see that build up again. We're trading well inside DD bands today, so the market has no scariness to it. As far as what we had yesterday when we cleared the top of DD band. So my call is still that we're going to go up, and I would watch for resilience to repair itself. Obviously, you see right here, the S&P is also baking in some volatility, leading into the CPI as well. So, but here's the thing, right? Ever since that credit rating downgrade, it just completely shattered the bull market. Shattered. Like there's no strong bull zones anymore like there used to be. There used to be huge walls of bull zones that led all the way through October. And remember back in the summer, we said that the bull market would last until September, October. You know, my call on Twitter was pretty correct on that. I do like to brag a little bit. I'm gonna show you all my little tweet history. I like to draw these up. So right about June said monthly map at Rocket Scooter totally changed the bull sentiment. And this is what it used to look like. Still, it's like it might be small on your screen, but nice clean distribution of bull zones from June all the way till summer. Today changed the bull sentiment inflection from late July to now October, meaning that in June, when I made that post, June 16th, I said that the bull market is likely to not get an inflection until October. So timing this with monthly maps is how great monthly maps are. So it's now almost mid-September and we're still back. We're still rallying higher. Look how great monthly maps are at seeing that. I wonder if I actually save that one. That picture. I got it somewhere. But that's it. Monthly maps back in June. Right here said that the rally was lasting until October. Breaking news. And we're still doing that. How cool is that? And now, but since the Fitch slap, since this event of the day, that whole bull side is shattered. So my calls ever since then have been this could be the high of the year. With very much not showing itself to be super bullish anymore. As you see, that bull side has been shattered. The bear side is still in a form of liquidating, as you see right here, which is good. We're not becoming stronger bearish. The bear side is still deteriorating, which is hinting at one thing, that the mechanism is likely to be a short squeeze that can continue to accelerate the market higher despite not being a solid bull zone. Not saying that we're going to get there like that, but I do think that, again, there is, you see how there's no real bull power today, but the market's not bearish at all. At this moment in time, the market's just hovering in a bull zone. And as puts continue to get squeezed and people start to short, you see this curvature here? It could continue to pop before it drops with like a big breakout short squeeze pop as this bear zone is just deteriorating. The bull zone is gone, but the bear zone, as we see, is trying to come back in and it's becoming less prominent. You used to remember, I don't know if you guys remember a couple weeks back, but SPY had bear zones like poking up all around the 440s level for months. They are quickly disappearing as bears taking bets or hedging against, bulls hedging against that are no longer taking that bet. So monthly maps nice and clean. As far as like, I wish I had more bull power to it. I think the bulls have already long and bought, which shows the middle of a rally. And community traders can also detail that same type of event that happened in 2021. Love that you guys come here for the knowledge bombs. As we rallied and rallied and rallied and rallied and rallied. Right here was when the asset manager category, so I'm circling it right there, started selling. Let me draw this in red so easier for you to see. From right here at this moment in time, the asset managers all the longs of the world were now in a net selling phase. So the net long position was starting to deteriorate before your very eyes. And as you see over time, this ultimately repeated its destiny until they started buying again, and then it started rallying again. Easy to see that. So here's the thing. It's not just that when people start selling, as they are doing right now, that markets are going to just collapse on themselves. Clearly, at some point in time, if that trend continues, we're going down. However, we still rallied for 6 months, despite net asset manager position dropping. Why? Well, you had the short squeeze of a lifetime. This blue line right here is the hedge fund side of the market. The leverage fund side, the committed traders, started squeezing out of their short position. So while you're not having longs buying to accumulate, you have shorts buying to cover, which from here until here, actually, let's see more like, right, this is the peak. Let me be more accurate there. Till here. From here until there, you had kind of accelerating short squeeze to continue to push the market higher. So it begs the question, if this starts to squeeze higher, you very well could see something that ends up like that, higher before lower. Very possible. As monthly maps are hinting at that possibility, you can see that the bear side is deteriorating, and we keep showing a monthly map. When that bear side is sloping down, deteriorating, bears are squeezing. Monthly maps have been the most powerful tools ever invented for traders to see the future. It's messy, but if you connect the dots, it's starting to form that pattern. Not that quickly, but the S&P, look at this. Let me say the QQQs, look at this. I'm not going to draw that dip there, but you get what I'm doing. See this? Over time, it's not quick, but it's starting to build. So one could hint that this does mean it can go higher before lower, meaning rallying to the end of the year, like it did in 2021. Yep. Interesting. Add commitment traders. The LC, or actually we use the TFF report. Not the LC report. LC for index trading, not really that useful. It's more for commodities, which you're looking at the overweighing and underweighing of speculative versus commercial. I guess we should add that because we do have commodities in here. You're right. We should add both of them, actually. But for the index, I don't really... to show that overweighing and underweighing, or like speculative hype bubbles and things like that, and those are really good on the commodity side of things. Like, let's look at gold, for instance, today. Gold's back to trading at almost 1900 again, almost at all-time highs. I think we're at 2000 at some point before, aren't we? $2011. Small speculators still on the long side. A little bit. Typically always been long. This commercials, positions, not commercials and large spec, all up in here. And taking profit on gold. As you see, like, very similar. It's hard to kind of see that inside of this bigger thing, but you can see like the not commercials or large spec as, you know, continuing to sell. That just is a wave down. So as obviously at the high, they're starting to sell as inflation's been coming down over the last couple of years, and, you know, inflation always has people stockpile commodities. So while gold is pressing like this, you know, obviously it's being fueled by short squeezing against some native selling. As these two pinch together, historically, you've consolidated, right? But ultimately, the selling pressure tends to press things a little lower as the speculative money is pulling out. You kind of see that same trend from here to here. Still being fueled by, short squeezes consolidating as they're pinching, but I think the hype of gold very directly correlating to inflation. As inflation's coming down, I think that trade is probably going to peak out. Yeah, Louis, let me know if there's a feed that has information. It'd be easy to scrape that. Is it RSS type thing? Weird thing about writing a web scraper to pull it straight from the CSV files that the CFTC releases, which is what most bar charts, probably what they all do. When they release that data, they just rip that data and build a chart off of it. Yeah, it'd be nice to have a trader's report. It would analyze it for you. Like, I just came up with a great idea. Down here. No, maybe down here. Oh, an indicator. Oh, even better. Oh, I'm brainstorming today. All right, you guys know the drill. It's time to get out some Microsoft Paint. Let's go. All right. Hold up. Man, y'all are full of great ideas. It's making me brainstorm. Let's go. Watch this. Tell me if y'all like this. Oh, I like building stuff for a living. This is so fun. All right. Imagine the following. Imagine if down here there's an indicator that we just, let me think how I want to do this. Firstly, imagine there's a new thing right here. We'll call it COT. So we actually had like the COT report. And oops. We call it COT. So we actually had the COT report that we drew here. And it had all the lines on it, right? What if we had a like COT, we call it and it would load on your daily charts with monthly map. We call it COT like something. Let me think of it. Like state. We used some logic, made an oscillator. And it was like a 0 to 100 sort of thing. And like the same rules apply. When bull side and bear side are sloping down, bearish. When bull side and bull side are sloping up, bullish. When they're pinching liquid, when they're pulling volatile. And we created like a state that was to be kind of predictive based on historic pivots and slopes and things to kind of show the COT as a state of just general upside or downside in the market. Or it'd be like greater than 0. Not just thinking like squeeze or rally. If it's greater than 0, market is displaying conditions up. Less than 0, market just general down. Based on the observations that you make from it. Like something like that. Let me put this in my old project ideas folder. We have to come up with some way to scale that thing. Well, basically what it would do, this is actually a really good idea because this is what we do every day. We look at it and make an assessment up or down. So when you have an indicator that can do that for you, that'd be hella good. Let me load this in here about. Theoretically, when Rocket Scooter accepts on their indicators, some be able to make a live SPX ticker with SPY converted to SPX. Technically speaking, you could be able to grab. Okay, the way that we're doing it is that here's. And by the way, we have kicked off our marketplace. So let me tell you something cool. We are working to get our what we call our marketplace and console project going. So I have an announcement to make, two announcements to make. Number one is we already secured when I was talking about before, when I was hinting, I was like, we've already secured like a handshake deal with one of the largest vendors of trading tools in existence, an A-list vendor who's like, we're ready to go. We've been working out details with them for a couple months now to figure it out. That's still in the works, so that's not what this announcement is about. So what I'm saying is we're gonna likely launch this. Let me see. I'm gonna say this. So the kind of hints I've been dropping along the way, we haven't revealed that part yet, but we're gonna reveal something brand new today. So, as a marketplace is gonna be sitting on a website where you can go in and download other tools, like any other marketplace out there. You want other indicators that people make. Somebody that has a business, they make some kind of super secret technical indicator sauce, algorithms, you name it. And you go to like TradingView and you buy it on the marketplace. They hand you the code. It's in PineScript. And now you have their super secret code. Vendors don't go in there and make super sophisticated things, because the minute they do, they leak the code out and it's never protected anymore. So what we created was a technology to protect the code of secret sauce. And that's how we do our stuff. Hedge Pressure, you will never figure out how it works, because the server does all the calculations, and we have a very proprietary method of delivering outputs to the front end, so where you can't open the browser console window and pull out all the information, and there's no indicator on the front end. All that we send is an array of numbers that tell the platform, draw this wherever. Resilience is the same way. The calculation is done on the back end. It's broadcast to you through a WebSocket stream. And so that's our technology. I see resilience right here. These are active WebSocket connections. So I've prototyped and piloted this technology. It's unique in the space. It's all cloud-based. You don't have to download anything. Like one of the earliest ideas of a vendor marketplace is NinjaTrader. You can download NinjaTrader on your desktop. You can go out there and go to their marketplace, and it directs you to a million different websites. It's like it gives you a warning when it pops up. By the way, you're leaving NinjaTrader and going to a third-party site. Be careful what you download. And you go there and you download people's zip files and you install them on your computer. It loads up some documents, encrypted files that you can't see how the code works, but there's I guess around how they obfuscate the code in a way, but they decompile that or decrypt that file internally in NinjaTrader. Some kind of server, licensed server is also part of it. There's a whole process, right? You download some weird file from some shady person you don't know, install an executable on your desktop, and all of a sudden unzip a zip drive on your desktop, and all of a sudden you got these files, you got to drop them in folders, and you can't see how the code works, and then NinjaTrader loads up the indicator. So good luck if you want to go download stuff from shady vendors, and God, who knows what kind of crypto nonsense scam people out there are getting you to download indicator tools so they can rob you blind of your money. Like I don't, who downloads anything anymore? That's so 2001. And again, that platform hasn't updated in like 15 years anyway. So, as it was a great idea, it's still like 2000s era idea. It's very obsolete, and like nobody wants to go to a place, download something, install on their computer. It's not even web-based. You can't use this on a device, mobile device, nothing. You could download shady files, none of that. So we built the infrastructure to fix what they did wrong and what TradingView does wrong. What TradingView does wrong is very on the front end. You get code from PineScript that's loaded on the front end. That PineScript code means that you can't sell your tools without handing out how it works. And the idea that we have server side calculation was very, very, very appetizing to a lot of people. We kicked off our marketplace by project secretly as we started talking to somebody a couple months ago who's very interested in this. So going forward, we now started actively interviewing other vendors. Every day we meet with 1 or 2 people. And our first vendor has signed on to create their entire infrastructure in the marketplace. So you guys know Karma Algo, Karma Options. A buddy of mine lives in Houston. Huge Karma's great. Love him to death. And so our solution is perfect for them. We're going to be working closely with them. They're going to be our first on the marketplace. In Rocket Scooter, we're also going to build them a Karma Algo platform for themselves. So Rocket Scooter Phase 2 is including us being able to create software for other people. So as Karma made the announcement last night, a couple of things are going to happen. Number one is we're going to build him a platform. We're going to start building platforms for people, software. You want your own software for your own brand? We're going to build it for you. We have staffed up for that whole side of the business to build local apps for others. So we'll be building him his own tool, unrelated to Rocket Scooter. But number two is the marketplace of Rocket Scooter, where you go in, you can download other people's tools into your Rocket Scooter platform. Think of it like this. Rocket Scooter is a platform. It's just a platform. That's it. It's going to have vendors on it. The very first vendor on Rocket Scooter is this guy named Trader's Paradise. You bought Rocket Scooter, and I give you liquidity map and resilience and other things from the marketplace for free. Other people that make stuff, you can also a la carte buy their tools on Rocket Scooter from the marketplace. So you can blend the two together on your own experience here. So not only are we going to build him his own app, we're also going to incorporate his stuff into the marketplace and get it in both places. So you don't get any access to their stuff unless you go buy it. So you'll have to buy it straight up. You can buy it at his place. You can buy it at our place, either place. You buy it. So you go, like, pretend that you pay what you pay now for Rocket Scooter. It's just one price, but it's like the base price, which includes liquidity map. So you'll be able to go and buy someone else's tools already on the platform as well, incorporated in. So to answer Jace's question, we're making 2 coding areas. We're making something called a console. A console is where the vendor can go in and code their algorithms or their indicators on the server that only they have access to, and then they can deploy it on the front end. It's like typing in code in PineScript. Instead of being front end, you're accessing a console portal that you log into, access a tool, and then it uploads it to the server. And now you have your indicator uploaded to a cloud-based server instead of on some website people can go download. So now, once vendors are incorporating their stuff into our server, it will appear in the marketplace as a place for you to buy, and then it'll be in the indicators and it'll just pop right up. So just go out there and buy it. Now, what we're also going to do is locally have local script. So for those of you that do like the whole PineScript thing, TradingView, we're going to have a Rocket script sort of thing where you can go in the scripting side and code on the front end if you want to make something for yourself or make something that you just hand out to other people. And the best part is that your vendors, let's call vendor 1 and vendor 2, anything that you buy that has a vendor black box has inputs, right? Think of this idea, and I dreamed this up years ago. Inputs a candle data, outputs or whatever. Here's vendor 1's output, hedge pressure, monthly hedge pressure, right, etc. I can elect in my code on the server side to allow these things to be outputs to the front end. The outputs can be drawn. I can elect to have those outputs be drawn in small charts. I can elect to have those outputs be part of the scanner. I can also elect to have those outputs be part of the script. Whereas if you've bought my tool in your scripting language, you can reference hedge pressure in your own custom scripts. So I can allow that on my end to make you really excited, Jace. So Karma has the same option. He can take his algorithm output and other vendors and send it to the front end. So in the script, if you bought this and you bought that and you bought this, then you'll be able in your scripting on your local indicators to blend them together by hedge pressure plus one of his things equals something else. Does that make sense? So how cool is all of that, everybody? This is the top secret thing we've been building for the longest time. We officially kicked this project off on Wednesday. It's a go. Now I'm excited. Carm's a buddy of mine. We're in the same town. Their team is very solid. I love them. The Traders Paradise use the same indicators. What do you mean, Brady? Which ones? So that you like that idea? So imagine if I bought like 4 or 5 different indicators. I'm going to blend them together. In the Rocket script side, I can write an algorithm that says like if price is greater than hedge pressure, and if indicator 1 is pointing up, and if indicator 2 is pointing up, and these are all references of things I bought, I'll be able to blend them together in the code on the front end. So you can now mix and match your favorite tools under the platform as well. When I told them that, they loved that idea. So as we are not just building, our own trading technology as a vendor in our own platform, I bundle my tools, Matt's tools, into Rocket Scooter as a free add-on. My tools won't be in apps that we build for other people. So like liquidity map and hedge pressure resilience, all that will have to stay here. So the marketplace will allow other people to put their stuff in here as well. So we can all create like super tools. So like one of the things that we kind of were hinting at right now that we talked about is our team and their team building a super tool. Like a prepackaged super tool on our marketplace that adds some of our hedge pressure technology and other things to some of their signals to really give like a beefy, strong signal. Something like that. The chat freaks, are you guys here? Is my mic frozen? How do y'all like that? Did that answer your question, Jace? And what do you mean the Traders Paradise use the same indicators? Brady, which indicators are you talking about? Filling a lot of needs in the industry. I know. Nobody's done this. Nobody's built something like this. We've all wanted it to happen over the years. Like, how come if I change platforms, if I leave Thinkorswim and go to Interactive Brokers, I have to leave all my tools there? All that sucks. As we continue to push, here's our marketplace with all the tools you can buy. And then let's connect to all the brokers. Now you never have to leave, right? There's that negative resilience showing up yet. Eventually pulling it right back down. So imagine as we continue, one of our teams is going to continue, our connections team is going to continue making connections to other brokers. The fastest way we can to incorporate as many brokers as you can. That way, when you buy your tools and have them, you also can log in and trade you switch brokers, you can still keep your tools. Like if you used to switch from Thinkorswim to something else, you have to rebuild everything in the new place. So what if I just switch brokers? then I don't have to rebuild anything. And like the dream is all of those problems we've started solving all of them. So, you know, we're glad that you see that. A lot of needs in the industry. Traders have no stickiness. They have no loyalty. You know, they tend to be like me over the years. No matter who I'm trading with, I always have Thinkorswim up and running because all my tools are there. Right? Now, so here's what SPY does. Like resilience went negative, and as we talked about negative resilience, this is back to being prominent. The minute we lost resilience, there's no more upside in the bull market, right? So we talked about earlier, as res started going negative and we're just trading through here, there's that resistance that you get from that. What do I see for SPY for the rest of the morning? As long as resilience stays less than 0, this is likely to trade lower. The lowest will go is DD float failure. Plan on options about 45.07, give or take. And I'd expect the float to save it if there is downside. It's about a 10, 15 point, or 13, actually 13 point drop from here if there is anything. You'll see how once you lose that resilience, obviously we said the highest we would see there is come back down and likely down below here on irrational hedge pressure breaks. So it's hard to rationalize. Well, now that hedge pressure is unbroken, we can easily rationalize that. It's definitely closing down here. So the hedge pressure is unbroken. So we show everything is pretty clean now. Open and bear, close and bear, open below hedge, close and hedge. Earlier, I had those and I scratched them out because we were breaking hedge to the upside with positive resilience, which hinted at that. But as you see, as soon as resilience goes negative, this is what you got to love. Resilience is a leading indicator, boys and girls. Under most rational conditions, resilience is super clean and predictive. So here we go right here. Right? Ever since we lost resilience, right at about 9:46 in the morning. Look how early your warning sign was. Now remember, I didn't call to short it, but I'm definitely not trading this. Right here, you have the early warning sign that the market is doomed. Oh, I love resilience. Early warning sign. Trading, boom. You're an hour ahead of the move. As the leading indicator, resilience is designed to do that as much as it can. How cool is that? So for the rest of the day, this is mode 2 resilience. This is less than 0 outside of the box. This is resistance right here. Also from the middle, the tie break is down when resilience is negative. That is less than 0. See how that goes? So that undid the hedge pressure break possibility when we lost resilience. That's that awesome. We'll have today's session cover that. Let me bring up the cheat sheet so you can see that. Today's session is going to cover when resilience predicts hedge pressure break. And then once you lose resilience, then the market resets. That spring undoes and goes where it needs to go. How cool is that? All right. Let's draw. Res less than 0. And right here, early warning sign. People need to hear about our tools faster. We've created some of the first forward-looking tools there are out there. Early warning sign. But what I do is I don't short days like this either. I just let it pull back. We'll cover that in today's session, though. So I expect the market to lightly pull back. Early warning sign of a false breakout forming. Clear as day and hour in advance. Y'all understand what I drew? Raj just made you 5K on the eval account. Rowan, way to go. So very cool business model. Now let's talk about what that means to you guys. So as Rocket Scooter clients, you're in the best place right now to get everything. So you don't have to go jump around. An example is like, so like if you want somebody's education, community, their tools, and their own experience, their own platform is gonna have custom tools that are related to things they want to build for themselves. If you want to like have all your tools in one place, buying base Rocket Scooter and then a la carting the things you want is your best option to have everything you want in one place. But maybe you want to join someone else's community. You can buy your stuff over there and in their tool, and their platform won't have like these features here, like resilience and all that. They'll have their own stuff, whatever they dream up. We'll build it for them that way. So the idea that you can have a master community that is just all about downloading tools and mixing and matching and putting combinations together, which is what Rocket Scooter is evolving to. Inside of Rocket Scooter, you have access to 2 free educational communities as part of your base price, and you get access to 2 free tool sets that come with it. So my community, the futures and day trading community, and liquidity maps, and Ashton's community, which is options and swing trading, investing and monthly maps go hand in hand with that. So you get communities and education, part of base Rocket Scooter. You can buy other people's stuff. You'll have other ways to mix and match, and we'll have like an area in our Discord related to blending tools together, and like people could actually just have fun with it as more people sign on. There are a lot of people interested. As we're building it out with Karma and other people up front. So as it's built out, we'll have the ability for vendors to just jump in very quickly and go through the process to sign up and things like that. So we're going to get the project probably within 2 to 3 months. We'll have something up and running, marketplace, everything. You'll be able to put other tools on our platform and buy them within 3 months. And so, yeah, we've solved all the problems in the industry. Vendors can now keep their secret sauce secret. Now you don't have to go download shady tools from shady vendors and get your information stolen from would-be crypto scammers. Like that's literally, and I hate to say this, but I hear so many tales on the Ninja Trader marketplace. People put like spyware, malware, all kind of stuff in the zip files. People download somebody's tools from there, and now no offense, this is not taking a stab at Ninja Trader. They have no control over this, but it's the people out there that use that infrastructure and the ecosystem. That people have downloaded somebody's tools, and then all of a sudden, people were writing like bad reviews about them online with their like what? How did they know that I had this business? Like it's like, you know what I mean? You just never know what you're downloading from third-party sites, and that's just scary. No one wants to do that. And and Ninja Trader is not a web-based platform either, so you're kind of you're landlocked to a Windows machine. I think it only works on Windows. I'm not sure it works on Mac or any other operating system, but you're kind of landlocked there. You have to download. It's just that the whole process became obsolete. And then TradingView and others have some marketplaces, but they don't have code protection. And the idea that like, why did I go out there and spend $1 million to build Rocket Scooter? Ask me that question. Why didn't I just go host Hedge Pressure on TradingView and then sell it to you guys that way? Why'd I have to go build an entire tech company? Self-funded, by the way. Myself and the partners built this with our own hard-earned capital. That's why we're building it at the pace we're building it. We're not out there. We're not holding on to like Series A, Series B money here. We're actually just building it ourselves. It'd be nice to have, at this stage of the game, some Series B investment, though, as we expand to saturate the market. If you guys are private equity firms, holla at your boy. But we're out the phase of expansion and market saturation. So welcome Series B level investor potentials. Please give us a call. Next step is going to be being everywhere in the marketplace. And solving these problems is just, to me as a trader, it's like, what did I experience? I wanted a place where me and my geek friends could make our own tools and share them with each other safely. If I came up with something top secret, I didn't want everyone to know how it worked. I just wanted to share it. And what I used to do is I used to have a stream. 2016, I would stream on Zoom for a small group of friends. We would like build spreadsheets together. We'd conceptualize things together. And it was just a little geek club, and no one could watch a stream but my friends. Why? So that we can share tools with each other. And I could build it on the stream and people could see me building it. We could talk about it and we can theorize together. It was like a little geeky trading club. It's called Day Trader Paradise. It was our first thing that we made. And then it spawned into a business as more people wanted to join and jump in on the discussion. And so we decided to start monetizing that whole effort, streaming and building tools. There's no platform for us to build tools in universally. We would create stuff on Thinkorswim, we'd build stuff, and we actually built stuff in NinjaTrader for a little bit. We're in the ecosystem for a little bit, but the problems there drove us away from it. And we went to the drawing board. And then 3 years later, we grew very large. And we're starting to teach some of the concepts we came up with. Risk interval was the first thing I made. Imagine 2016, we had a little geek club around risk interval. No one thought it at the time, but we knew we were onto something. As you know, the DD band is one of the most important things we teach. Well, the risk interval is the most important thing we teach. It's everywhere. It has to do, the catalysts have to do with it. Those tools are big, right? So we literally built a whole community around the risk interval concept. That we had a predictable thing in futures that could predict volume. And it sparked this whole revolution of creating tools that can predict volume. And over time, we had nowhere to put our tools where, the stream became big, and anytime we couldn't build spreadsheets on the stream anymore, because then would-be competitors would see how things are working. Once we found something that worked, we had to monetize that and put it behind a paywall and stop streaming it. Then it came down to how do we get this to everybody? And well, NinjaTrader wasn't a viable option. It was not universal. It wasn't web-based. It just kind of was limited. We tried it for a little bit. We had an automated redlines tool in the early days of redlines. We found out that you get people to sign up for your service. You have to go get them to join a certain broker platform, download it, pay for that, then download your tool and automate it. And it just wasn't appealing. It was like, I want a one-stop shop that's no broker. You don't have to get a brokerage account to run my tools. And so it was like, well, shit. Then we decided, well, let's figure out a way to do this and give it to people without a brokerage platform. Went out, shopped around for data feeds. We built the infrastructure to do this, and I didn't want you guys to see how the code works. So we built the classic app for you to have all of the tools I invented. Now, we didn't have, at the time, risk interval was not part of this because we didn't have futures data. We just now got futures data, but at the time, I had invented something else based on options. And then that was the big thing that drove us to create the software, because we had all these tools we made, and it was like, well, how do we get hedge pressures to people? I was streaming, showing my spreadsheet that would calculate hedge pressure from my local machine. People would join my stream. They can see a spreadsheet. The old streams from 3 years ago was a spreadsheet on my screen, and TD Ameritrade off to the right, or Trading View Trading to the right. So then we built the app so that you guys can get our tools. And I built the infrastructure for me to have the calculations done on one side and broadcast the output to you. It's like you type in your ticker. Remember the classic app? You guys all have this on your dashboard, by the way. You could play with it. All your same features are on the platform here, but we had resilience. There's your DD. There's your walls. There's your hedge pressure. And now this asks the server, what's the answer? The server sends the answer forward. And you guys loved this. And this is a revolution by itself. So all you did was sign up for a service and you got the app. Hedge pressures are now yours. So then people were like, well, can we get it automatically drawn on the charts? Jeff said, how do you put your resilience indicator under chart? Oh, my bad, buddy. I didn't see your question. Go to indicator and type in resilience. And make sure you save your layout right here. Save your window layout, and it will save your things. Your chart layout will save those. So what started off as an idea in a stream. I needed a way to give the code to people. To give the answers to people without giving the code. So we made the small app, and you guys wanted it in charts. He said, wouldn't it be cool if we can scan for
bull long up stocks instead of having to type in stocks one at a time. Can we just have a scanner? And I was like, all right, fine, I'm going to build a scanner. And I talked to partners and they're like, well, can I have a scanner without a platform? And said, well, let's make a platform. Auto draw everything, optimize everything. I said, okay, that's it. We're doing the platform. And from that moment in time, I had the vision. I was like, I have technology that every vendor on the planet is going to want. Because I solved all those problems for you guys and for myself. And that's the secret. What I hated about the industry's design was I couldn't do what I wanted to do. I couldn't make cool tools and share them with my friends or my clients or anybody. And I would lose control of the code. I would have to hand out that. You'd have to go download something in a broker specific platform, pay for another platform just to get my tools. And it was like, why can't I just have a place where someone comes, pay a $35 sub, and all of a sudden my tools broadcast to them safely. So I built it. I spent $1 million building it, my own money. I could buy myself a couple McLarens with that, because I knew it would be a huge hit for people. And this is the age of exploration. This is not the age of recycled technical analysis. Like, that's the cool thing about 2023. This is the age of the fastest growth in versatility and variety of trading products. There are so many things that, like, from probably like the 60s until like the late 90s, maybe in the early 2000s, all was people were doing was creating new and more goofy ways of having technical analysis. Like all this stuff to the left. People invented so much stuff that it just became more and more technical analysis. There was really no ingenuity in here. Things just got sillier. Like, well, you start off with like averages, and you went to Fibonacci's, and you went to Gann, and spirals, circles, fans, hearts, moons, clovers, purple horseshoes. This fucking Lucky Charms marshmallows over here. And then people created all kind of other stuff, you know, like different patterns and harmonics and Elliott waves. Like the markets, this is like the NFTs of technical analysis, right? Things started getting just silly, and so many different ways to draw things. Not saying these are terrible ideas, but it's, again, just technical analysis bastardized. It's taking price data, looking for patterns, trying to predict the future. That's it. But this era, the last 3 years, people are, as data feeds become more readily available, tech providers have created massive monster tech that explore different concepts, not technicals. We're an example of that. We use options to try to find liquidity, and use options to try to find volatility. We use options to predict hedging pressures. Markets ebb and flow in a direction. There are other people out there who build order flow stuff, tape reading stuff, try to predict unusual activity monitors, things like this, all kind of new technology. You know what they have to all do? Just to get it to you, they have to go build their own platform too, just to get it to you. Imagine the limitation of knowledge to you, because for every cool technique that comes out, there's a 3-year buildup to make a platform. Like Black Box Stocks, amazing product, amazing company. I love everybody there. They're fucking awesome. You know what they had to do? They had to build their own software, and they went public to raise money. And it's like, you have a concept. They can't just get their concept to your hands in a couple days, a couple weeks. You have a cool idea, you could build your own system. Huge. One of my closest buds out there, made this little company you may have heard of called TrendSpider. TrendSpider had this amazing technology that would auto chart technical analysis. It would find, like, instead of you manually drawing like fibs and manually drawing, you know, other things, they would do automation of like finding flag patterns and all the different things you look for. They wrote code that did that for you. You get that to do that, to build a platform to get it to you. Imagine how we just lubricated that process. Everybody out there with a vision idea will be able to build in a centralized environment. In the age of exploration and trading tech, it's huge to me. How many people out there like me created something and they want to share it with people, not just because they want to sell it, but because sharing it with other people evolves the process. Remember, some of you have been here since 2016. You see how we've evolved the process, right? We've learned stuff. We created DD bands like a couple years back, from mutual observation. You guys use the thing and you like it and you use it and you study it and you learn something and you tell me what you notice. Hey, I noticed that this is a thing, or hey, I have an idea. Why don't we do this with this? And then we explore it as a group and then we come up with better stuff. To have a universal platform that you can do that is a revolution to me. That's why and that's why we're creating this. You have an awesome idea. My buddy Karma gives me a call. He's like, hey dude, we should collab. He's like, I want to kind of blend your tools and my tools. I have this idea. And what do I say? Well, like in the past, I could go, well, how do we do this? So we have to build something to it. And now it's like, load it up, turn it on. We'll be live tomorrow, right? It's like, how cool is that? That you got a friend of yours, you want to start mixing and matching your tools together. Now you'll have a way to just turn it on and go. And then that's the most exciting part. We haven't buzzed about it lately because we're waiting to get like our first big project going before we just kind of hyped it and with no target. On Wednesday, we're starting the project. So you're going to start seeing changes on the website. You're going to start seeing announcements. You're going to start hearing a lot of buzz about it. You're going to start seeing like us changing things. We're going to start adding coding script on the front end. So what you guys will be able to do as users of the platform, you'll be able to do a couple things. Number one is in your Pro Plus package, you'll be able to have your own coding console locally where you can build your own local tools, mixing and matching the tools you bought from the marketplace. Another thing you'll be able to do is, as a vendor, if you've dreamed up an idea and you want to make a business selling your indicators and algorithms to people, you can join our vendor program and we'll feature on the marketplace, and you can become an add-on to Rocket Scooter. People can buy your product and you just get paid subscription. You don't have to go build a website, build a platform, nothing. So invite every vendor out there and every friend out there that has tools or has anything you've made, doesn't matter, to apply for our ecosystem program that we're going to have, our vendor marketplace. And we're going to build the world's biggest community trading developers. Mark my words, we will be the biggest thing on the planet in trading technology in 5 years or less. And just let you know, it's so cool to be part of a group like you guys that help drive and inspire this process. All right, on that note, I'm taking a break. No trade, let the market relax, selling off of middle. Resilience goes less than zero. Nice little leading indicator. Got that early warning sign. Some people were scalping today and it's really short lived. Remember, you rewind the stream, I said I'd probably close there or close there. I probably wouldn't hold through there as it's going to return back to there anyways. And so anybody that took some shorts, tiny little scalps here probably did something right. Trying to bet on anything further from here, it's going to be hard to say. Lower DD band, about 4,507, a little bit lower on the S&P. So I'm really not looking at anything. And Nasdaq just touched lower DD band, I think. Yes, it did. No, float. Nasdaq floated. So today, if you come to the Pro Plus Zoom call, it's going to be in about an hour and a half. We'll make the announcement. We're going to talk about resilience as a leading indicator, resilience on hedge pressure breaks, and float failure again, which we'll talk about today. Love you guys. So thanks for tuning in. Also, take note. Probably next week, I'll probably start, now that futures is all settled out, I'm going to get futures trading in the platform. I'm now going to migrate my trading challenge. You guys like my trading challenge things I do? We're going to do one in Rocket Scooter. That's the big thing I'm excited about for next week. Also, so many cool things are happening. Live trading challenge, self-challenge, trading through Rocket Scooter. Let me do my futures trading here. I'll probably start maybe Monday. So tune in for that. If you're pro, you can't go to Zoom. Yeah, unfortunately, Zoom lessons and extended education are for Pro Plus from now on. And the reason it's like that is that in Pro, you have the videos and the boot camp to watch, which is a lot of videos. Pro Plus is advanced concepts that start to blend things together. The idea is that once you're using Pro, you should just graduate to Pro Plus. Not that much more expensive to get all the extra features. The Zoom calls and the Zoom call recordings are all posted there. So if you want to upgrade, let me know. We're still in this phase of everybody is in Pro is like, oh wait, there's new features in Pro Plus that you made. We're gonna let you decide. I'll give you a coupon that discounts the membership if you do want to switch over. in this transitional phase, because you may have missed the announcement. So Pro Plus will be a discount. So send me a message, and everyone send me a message, just go around. Hey, I want to be in Pro Plus. I want to start coming to the Zoom calls, Zoom recordings, the coding, like we're going to on the front end coding, all that stuff we talked about is all Pro Plus features. So we'll let you guys, yeah, so I'll hook you up. Essentially, we really think that Pro is like the stepping stone, and Pro Plus is like what you really want to be if you're serious, right? So Pro is like your intro, your extended trial to kind of give liquidity maps, resilience, DD a try. If you like it, Pro Plus is going to be your deep dive. You're really going to